Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Grey Matter. Well, many Canadians are very concerned about what's happening with the economy. They see the cost of living going up. They see an incompetent government that seems to be making all these problems worse every single day. And they wonder what are we to do? How do we solve these problems? And of course, these problems are compounded by the overwhelming ignorance and financial illiteracy. A recent poll that I saw said that only about 16% of millennials in North America have even basic financial literacy. And I doubt that the rest of us are doing any better. So I thought it'd be useful to have on the program somebody who really knows what's going on, someone who not only follows the financial markets and provides advice to really the highest net worth people around, but also someone who is deeply involved in being able to understand past financial trends and to be able to predict future ones, to be able to explain how the economy moves, what's the math involved, how do politics play a role. And so we're very honored to have on the program Dr. James Thorne. He's asked us to call him Jim, and so we will. Welcome to the program, Jim. Great to have you on Gray Matter today.
Thanks for having me today.
So I want to start here, if I could, Jim, before we dive into some of the writing and some of the things that you've been talking about, and talk particularly about this concept of financial ignorance, because I dare say that this is a huge problem, a huge aggravating factor in the overall fear and anxiety that many Canadians and indeed North Americans have about what's going on in the economy. We hear so much of what's going on in our economy is bad news, but we don't understand why it's bad or how it's going bad. Can you explain, or do you have an idea about why we are so financially ignorant? And what are some of the solutions? How can we perhaps change that?
It's very interesting when you think about it that way because it's more of a statement on society and where we are in terms of the social media world that we live in. It's also a statement on how we receive news and how news really changed in the early 1990s when Ted Turner started CNN and news ended up we stopped having news that was objective, and news became more of a commentary entertainment type endeavor. This the phone, if you can't say it in 2 seconds, people's attention span can't handle it. And yet some of the problems that we have right now maybe take longer than 30 seconds or 3 minute clip on TikTok to explain what the nuances are.
Hmm.
And so as I've gone through my career, what I have found is, you can only try so hard to let people understand the fact that they don't know what they don't know, and move on. And in
Hmm.
my business, which is finance, it really delineates into, if we play in a zero sum game. So I have to win for you and you have to lose, right? And everything evens out. Then there's a lot of dumb money at the poker table, right? And so, what you need to do, and what everybody needs to do, is that if you're going to get into this business and invest and do what I do, you've got to understand that this is all I do. I work 7 days a week. I do not take what I hear on the news at face value. The news that you get on the business news channels is you know current. It's about the current situation, but investing is about the future. Central banks live in the past, and it's really boring research. And you've got to sit there and do your own research and read. And
Hmm.
Leighton, what's really interesting about me coming back home, so I lived in the States for 20 years. I worked for Warren Buffett Bank. We grew the bank from number 70 to about number 9.
Wow.
Um, and so what is interesting about coming back here is I am trying to be objective. My goal as a strategist is to be objective, right? To try to call balls and strikes.
Hmm.
And with my perception and how I talk and how I see the world, trying to be objective. When I lived in Washington, D.C. for 14 years, I was viewed as a Democrat. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My same views today, right? We go to Dulles, so I'm in Toronto. You go to Dulles, you get in a small little airplane, a Dash 8, and you fly to Billy Bishop Airport, which is at the Toronto Island Airport. 45-minute flight. I come into my hometown. All of a sudden, I'm an extreme conservative. Same
just
views,
just like that.
same views.
Hmm.
Okay. And I don't say that it's not a complaint. It's just the way it is, right? And
Hmm.
so what I would say to everybody is, look, when you're investing, we're using live bullets. This is serious business,
Hmm.
right? But we don't do the basic research. We don't get contacts. So when we talk today about the portfolios, Leighton, I'm already in 25, late 25, early 26.
So you're looking further ahead.
I am there
Yeah.
right now. So the
Yeah.
conversations we're having right now at Wellington is what happens if Trump or Harris get what happens after the election. And here's the key. Unless it isn't about if Harris wins or Trump wins. It's about the middle of next year. If they don't deal with the deficit, okay?
Hmm.
And this goes up for Canada as well. We
Yeah.
don't deal with it, the credit markets will make us deal with it,
Right. Right.
right? And so, but you turn on the TV and it's about, today's PCE number. Well, look, it's
Hmm.
2.5%. The yield curve is inverted. It's late, right? Interest rates in Canada and the United States are going below 2% by the end of 2026.
Really? That low?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, get your portfolio ready, right? And so I'm sitting there like this. So they've already made the mistake, right?
Mm.
They've already made the mistake. Look, inflation is inflationary. Sorry, interest rates are inflationary. Okay? Interest rates are the cost of credit. Or
Hmm.
sorry, let's put it differently. Interest rates are the price of credit. In
Right.
an economy with extreme levels of debt, if you take
Hmm.
the price of credit up, it's inflationary. If
Right.
if Macklin wants to bring interest rates down, cut rates.
Hmm.
Right now,
What
yeah,
you just saw.
I go on TV and I write and I blow heads off. That's if we took an advanced macroeconomics course in graduate school or a fourth year level macro course in undergraduate. Well, that's what we would talk about. So this
Mm.
isn't cold fusion,
Right.
right? But you get all these people running around. So my whole part to you is, and it's no different than what Charlie Munger or Warren Buffett would say. Is you got to read a lot. You got to read a ton,
Right.
right?
Right.
And you got to understand that there are people doing this full time that don't go on TV that want you to be stupid because they want you to lose. The problem you got looking forward is debt is deflate. The extreme levels of debt are deflationary. We've got to get it under control.
Mhm.
Technology is deflationary. Globalization is deflationary, and demographics are deflationary. Right? So we're going to go through a period of time what we call reflation. Rates are going to come down,
Mm.
right? And so, which is so non-consensus. There's a few people, but it's totally based on history and basic economic theory.
Mhm.
And so when we talk, it's okay, you're building a portfolio, Leighton. Interest rates are going to be below 2% in 2026. Build your
This
portfolio.
That's the first time I've heard that. I haven't heard anybody else say that yet.